teams, I'm Erin Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. In this walkthrough, we'll jump in and explore the Into the Deep presented by RTX field. Now let's dive in. The scoring elements for this year's game are called samples. They're Alliance-specific, red and blue, and Alliance-neutral samples. Teams have the option during pre-match setup to preload an element. Either a neutral sample can be preloaded onto the robot, or a team has the option to assemble their Alliance-specific sample with a clip to create a specimen and preload the specimen onto their robot. The human player has a significant role in this year's game. Robots will retrieve their Alliance-specific samples and bring them to the observation zone. Once the robot leaves the observation zone, the human player may pick up the sample. Throughout the match, the human player will assemble the sample and the clip to create specimens, which are then retrieved by robots and scored onto the chambers of the submersible. The preset samples are placed on their respective lines on the field. This provides teams access to additional samples without having to reach into the submersible. The remainder of the samples are randomly placed inside of the submersible. There are a few different strategies teams and alliances can employ to coordinate, access, and score additional samples and specimens, especially during auto. There are 6 unique April tags on the perimeter walls. These April tags have been placed in a way to assist robot navigation, especially during auto. In the center of the field is the submersible. The submersible is designed to hold the weight of up to 4 robots at a time. Outriggers on the outside of the submersible are there to keep the submersible in place and prevent tipping in the case where 2 robots might ascend on one side. 1-inch round extrusion is used for the climbing sides of the submersible. The chambers on each side of the submersible are Alliance-specific 1-inch HIPS pipes where specimens are scored during the match. You'll see that at the bottom of the submersible, under the chambers, is a 2-inch high barrier which sits almost directly on the tile surface. And underneath each of the climbing sides of the submersible are 1-inch metal extrusions that are set at 2 inches from the floor. Each of these barriers help to keep the samples inside the submersible during gameplay. Each alliance has a lower and upper basket scoring area in a corner of the field, which is located above their alliance-specific net. The height to the outer lip of the lower basket is 25.75 inches from the floor, and the height to the lower lip of the upper basket is 43 inches from the floor. Teams earn points for scoring samples into the baskets, and there are different point values for the low and the high baskets. To qualify for Ascend points, there are a few criteria that must be met. Robots may only ascend on their alliance side of the submersible. Tape lines indicate which side is for which alliance. Next, robots must be in the ascent zone and start their climb from the outside of the submersible. And the ascent zone is a protected area during endgame. Make sure to read the rules for more specifics. Additionally, to earn a low-level ascent, a robot must be off the tile floor. It is only when a robot achieves a low-level ascent that they can then attempt to ascend to the high rung. That means that robots can't reach from the floor to the high rung to go straight into a high ascent. Space is limited on the submersible. Teams should be prepared to encounter incidental contact from swinging robots attempting to score. I hope you enjoyed this overview of Into the Deep. Please make sure to read this year's First Tech Challenge Competition Manual. The competition manual is your one-stop shop to understand game-specific rules, as well as tournament rules, advancement criteria, and robot construction rules. There have been some noteworthy changes this season, including some changes to terminology and, most importantly, a new process for team updates, where the game manual will be updated on a bi-weekly basis. Also, every team is allocated one account to ask questions and receive answers on the First Tech Challenge Q&A forum. Thank you so much for tuning in, and best of luck this season.